Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Ben from ShouldIGetIt.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the 85mm 1.8 lens from Canon for 370 bucks. I do think yes, you should get it. It is a fantastic buy if you're doing any sort of portrait work or headshot photography, whether you're using it on a crop sensor camera like I am right now with the Canon SL2, and it's at about 135mm focal length equivalent, or if you use it with the Canon full frame bodies like the Canon 6D Mark I, which I have here, and I'll show you sample images from both. This photo you're seeing right now of Jonathan was taken in natural light with the Canon 6D Mark I and the 85 1.8 at f1.8. You can see the eyes are very, very sharp. We have a beautifully blown out background, and this lens focuses pretty quickly. Now, the first thing I want to talk about actually is on the video side. I think it looks pretty good right now, but if we switch from this microphone on my chest to the built-in microphone, which I never recommend using, but if we switch to that, you guys will hear as it tries to autofocus, the lens does squeak. Now, I don't know if this is specifically with my version of it, the one that I just got, but it autofocuses plenty fast and fine. It's just a little bit noisy, so I wouldn't recommend vlogging or filming videos with it on autofocus if you're gonna use the audio, but otherwise, you can definitely use the autofocus in photos. It's not gonna bother you at all. And also in videos, the manual focus doesn't have the longest ranging ring, so it doesn't take much to turn it fully, as you guys can see right here, but that also means that it autofocuses very quickly. Now, usually 85mm lenses with a 1.8 are pretty big and heavy. This one is actually very compact, and I found carrying the Canon 6D and the 85 1.8 was actually a really nice travel setup, and I would use it all the time. And for video on the 6D and the SL2, it looks pretty good. Now let's take a look at the colors. This photo right here, taken in my kitchen, is using this same video softbox I'm using right now. And the colors with no editing at all from the Canon SL2 look really good. The background is beautifully blurred out at f1.8. And you can see when we zoom into the avocado oil symbol on this bottle, it looks very sharp, and this lens is fantastic for that. Now, if we take a look at the autofocusing speed in the speed roll, you'll see if I put my hand in front of the lens and try and focus, it moves really rapidly from infinite focus to its closest, which I believe is around 3 feet. And then same thing going from the shortest to the longest focal range. It's very quick. You could definitely shoot some sports with this. If you have kids playing soccer or basketball, you can even shoot indoors with this with a higher ISO, and it would be a fantastic lens for that. Now, where would I really recommend this? If you're shooting in the studio or you're doing headshots, the 85mm lens is fantastic. Now, keep in mind, low light is going to be pretty good because it's an f1.8, but since it's a longer lens at 85mm rather than a 35 or 50mm that you could get, you're going to have to double your shutter speed. So instead of shooting 1/100th of a second minimum, which is what I would recommend for a 50mm lens, you're going to have to shoot around 1/160th of a second, which means you're actually going to lose a lot of light. So compared to the 50mm 1.8, the 85 takes more light to get a good sharp image or a higher ISO. So if you don't have a 50mm lens yet, I would actually recommend that first. The 50mm 1.8 Nikon was the first lens I made my $1,000 of professional portrait photography with, and that's what I would recommend you doing as well. But if you already have a 50 and you're trying to take the next step up, it's gonna be the 85. Now, in terms of distance that you're gonna be from your subject, it's about 10 feet. So right now on a crop body, to get this framing, I am about 10 feet away from the camera lens. With a full frame body, of course, it's gonna be a little bit less than that. It'll probably be 6 to 8 feet. And you do have to speak a little bit louder in order to, tell your model how to pose, and in outdoor situations it might be a little bit tougher to do, but if you're shooting in studio, the 85 is totally fine on a crop or full frame body. So that is pretty much all I have to say. I do highly recommend you get this lens. I have the Amazon link right there for you in the description. I'm gonna keep shooting on it. I do like the videos with the 1.8. You can see the background is nicely blurred. My hand's probably even a little bit blurry right there, just 2 feet behind me. So if you have this lens and you have any comments, I'd love to hear them down below. Follow me on Instagram at BenRepresentPhotography, and let me know how the audio is in the living room. This is my first video here, and the AC is on because it's super hot in LA. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.